Hello everyone and welcome to my Yakuza 4 No Damage. Now for this fight, ihara is a complete fucking joke. I actually beat this guy like on my first try, I barely even tried. But also it comes to Yakuza 4. I get to talk about Akiyama, one of my favorite characters, and he's like one of the reasons why I love this game so much. And he's also broken as shit because you can just loop the fucking look. He's already dead. Don't even have to try. Anyway, unfortunately for Akiyama, he doesn't have a lot of boss fights, so I'm putting in a bunch of random boss fights, so Akiyama still gets some time to shine. Because unfortunately, he only has like 2 good ones. And then Yakuza 5 gave him none. But that's a different conversation. So this is just basic, crowd control. There's like a 3-man heat action, which is very useful. His light heavy is really good. It's got a long reach. Goes like at a wide arc. Knocks people down. Very good. But I guess in general, just Yakuza 4 is just one of my favorite Yakuza games to play. But it's definitely more for the gameplay. Because story-wise, I think it's a bit rushed. Everyone likes to joke about it, like rubber bullets, and it's like, okay, yeah, rubber bullets are kind of dumb, but I don't know. Like, I think they had some ideas, but they didn't have enough time to develop them, so feels kind of weird. Anyway, if there's any annoying type of enemy in this group fight, is those guys with their arms up, because they will fucking grab you. And they not only drain your heat, but everyone else is free to pummel you while you can't do anything. And while some characters can break out of it, like, either have a heat action or they can just throw themselves out, Akiyama can't do that. So you just have to mash. Oh yeah, fucking oh yeah, if there's any Yakuza players that there's one problematic guy in a group, it's always the fucking fat guy. The fat guys are always a problem. They have more resistance, you can't combo them, you can't grab them. Like, shit is so annoying, and like, especially I think in the older games where they have like the sumo moveset, like if they charge in and you're not ready for it, you will get clipped. Now luckily there's like this pole in the middle of it which let me do a heat action to take a bunch of people out for free. So here I'm just playing it safe. I wanted to do the kick him in the balls heat action, but I forgot I did not do the revelation, so it did not activate. So we'll just finish him with the pole heat action. Now I'm putting in a bunch of fights that you are forced to do, so some of these are pretty nothing fights. It's like, well, it looks like there's a lot of guys, they all die very quickly. And I think my only gripe with the combat of this game is that heat actions do insane amounts of damage, which can make the game very easy, because you can just cheese the fuck out of like any enemy or boss just by spamming heat actions. Like the main thing, like, compared to like Yakuza 3, because Yakuza 3 heat actions did do good damage, but they only did good damage to like normal enemies, or they did really high damage. But on bosses, like, they scale like really hard. But in this game, they like remove the scaling, so shit is just like really broken. You just nuke a bunch of boss fights, and for some of them you do have to do that. If it wasn't for the high damage, I don't know how I would do the no damages. But I think in general, when you fight an actual fun boss, I would rather the heat action damage be a little bit lower. I think, while Yakuza has problems, I think it had a good balance of heat action. Oh yeah, this fucking fight drew me insane. See, here I have the sacred wood armor, which lets you block bullets. Cool. Now you can't beat this fight without using the armor. The problem is that this fucker shoots the literal second it starts. So you have to do like a frame perfect fucking dodge. You do a frame perfect dodge just to dodge the bullet, and then you can get an attempt. So I had so many attempts just stuffed out because I didn't get the frame perfect dodge until eventually I just rerouted my New Game Plus to get Akiyama the sacred armor, and it became way easier because the boss fight isn't even that hard. He's just fucking cheap. Like once you get past the bullet, you just bully him and you can't do anything. And then you have this group, and there's tiny ass room. And there's another fat guy, a fat guy in a room this tiny. Another problem. And I think the only thing I'm trying to do is save my heat, because the next part is also a really annoying part of the fight. Because now this fucker brings out a goddamn chainsaw. Now this wouldn't be that bad, except he has fucking super armor throughout the whole fucking thing, so you can't do like any combos. Like you can kind of poke at him and like run away, hope you don't get clipped, but I'm not dealing with that, so I just spam it with fucking heat actions. Cause fuck this guy. Now like the only way to make it kind of fun is like you can do like Akiyama has a tiger drop. And unlike Kiryu's, it does have iframes in this game, but it's like still fucking boring. So I'm just gonna nuke him with heat actions to get this fight over with. This fight is cheap as fuck, so we're gonna take him on an equally cheap as way. Call that law of equivalent exchange. And then here's the one of the last Akiyama fights, Minami. Minami is Majima's lieutenant, and it's kind of strange that he never appeared ever again. Granted, it's not the first, there's a lot of one-shot characters, but I am glad he did come back in Pirate Yakuza, because out of all the characters that are important to Majima, I was not expecting RGG to even remember this guy, because it's like I think the one thing I'm surprised they didn't do in Pirate Yakuza is bring back the fucking hostess club girls. I'm like, thank fucking god. I don't need to see them again. Anyway, fucking Minami isn't too hard. You can kind of stun him on the wake up and get a full combo. Well, the main thing in his advantage is definitely the environment. There's a couple corners where you can combo him. I think like some of the corners, like around these stairs, you can do combos. But I think the main way Akiyama was supposed to be balanced is that when you do hit a wall, they like fall down, and like the only thing that can hit them are like your light kicks. So I think that's how the fight was supposed to be played. But you put them in like a pseudo corner where there's no like real walls, you can just beat the fuck out of people. Just do infinites. Akiyama is fun. He's also really broken, which makes a lot of his sections really short, which is kind of unfortunate, but oh well. And there's the Feel the Heat sections. I like these a lot more better than Yakuza 3, where you just get a random PNG and just choose whatever finisher. But you can argue it's like, oh, they have utility. I mean, yeah, sure, but in a normal playthrough, like you just have the default, you're gonna use that. Or the Hell's Bridge, which does a lot of damage, but you're probably gonna use that. There's a crowd control, but that's only useful in like 2 fights. And even then. Oh yeah, anyway, here's Saejima. Now Saejima, I think, by his intentional design, is pretty limited. But there's been a lot of tech found for Saejima. Let's see if I can do it. I fuck it up. So essentially how you do it is that you just do like a normal like light into finisher, but when you press the heavy, you press your dodge button and you get like a new finisher. It's really weird. The timing can be kind of awkward. Fortunately, I don't show up too great in these no damages, but oh well. But I think the most definitely useful one is double light. So like right there. So like instead of doing like just like the normal knee, he does like the big jump, but it doesn't. But he also have different hit effects. like if I did like the normal charge finisher, it would send them really high up, but like the dodge finisher doesn't do that. But you know, I think it's like the easiest one to do. Like it's the one I do the most consistently. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the most reward, but you know, but like the half finishers can be very useful if you know how to use them. Like if you do light heavy dodge, you basically get like a faster version of his normal charge finisher, and even though it does the low bounce, like you can still do like the the ground bounce heat action. Anyway, here's the second fight where now we're in a big group, and I gotta target the guy with the gun first. Now that's why I don't pick up the gun, because I feel that would kind of invalidate the challenge. And I think the unfortunate thing for Majima that is really annoying is mainly his dodge, because Majima doesn't have a normal dodge. Like he doesn't like slide around like, you know, like Kiryu, but it's that he just commits to a roll no matter what. Like I think the only least committal option is like his back dodge, which is like a backdash, which recovers pretty quickly. But any other roll, any other dodge, you just do the roll. It's like, while it's good for getting out of situations, it's not good for maneuvering like around. So the entire strat for here, Saito is just bet the running attack because it's really slow, and then get to his back. And a lot of fights kind of end up just being that, just beta running attack, do a combo, and just do it again. Here I try to do the light heavy dodge finisher, but I didn't get it. I choke a lot on these boss fights, not sure why. Not too hard to do. But I think another thing is, like, you know, there's a thing called charge storage, which I kind of want to use, but unfortunately it's not that useful in these boss fights. I think the most useful thing you can do is that you can kind of do like a Akiyama, like kind of like corner infinite, but it's way fucking harder. Like Akiyama, like once you learn how to do it, it's pretty easy. Just gotta know where you gotta go. But for Majima, like you gotta like cancel the charge and buffer the charge and just do that over, and you gotta slide your fingers and stuff. It's really weird. And even if I want to do it, say if I got good at it, the only fight that's useful for Majima is the his last fight. So every other fight you can't really do it. It's cool, but unfortunately it's not practical. I was kind of wondering if like if you could store a charge and wait for opening, you get a full charge combo, but that's not how it works. You have to do it like immediately. So like you either do it in a combo or you do it in like a block string, which is unfortunate, but oh well. Anyway, here's the Kiryu fight now. Luckily, I was actually able to do this first try, but this fight does not give you a lot of options. Like, there's not even walls. But this is one of those fights where the insane damage of heat actions definitely comes in clutch. Because without it, this fight will be a lot harder. And I think we're going to see one of the best moves Majima definitely has. And it's the charge attack. Now, unlike Kiryu's, where it takes fucking forever for the Lotus Fist, I think I only use it for the Lao Kao Long fight. Sajima's most useful version of the charge is the semi-charge, where he does the big spin attack. Comes out really fast, got a big attack range. Can give you a knockdown, gives good heat. We're just gonna kind of spam this the whole game. There's not much you can really do. Like Kiryu, like he'll, especially when he goes into heat, he'll block a lot. He doesn't have many openings. Even like the normal openings he does have, Majima can't take advantage of them because of his dodge. Like if you do like the IF fights where you can't do heat actions, like you play as a normal character, you kind of just block and then like Kiryu will like delay a heavy finisher and you just dodge around him. Sajima can't do that. He just can't do it. Anyway, here's some Sajima crowd control. He just fights some people outside of Purgatory. This fight was kind of annoying, but you know, if I'm including the Akiyama sections, I might as well do the rest for every other character. But overall, I think I really like Sajima. Like, he's pretty simple, and once you learn some of the new tech, there's a lot of more he has a lot more utility, but still feels pretty limited. So like Yakuza 5, I think the big thing about Yakuza 5 is like there's not as much advanced stuff to do, but they compensate just by making every character OP as shit. Because they gave Sajima a busted ass tiger drop that does insane damage and stuns them, which is insane. And he also has like a million fucking out. Anyway, here's a Ivan. Now, luckily, this is one of the times where I do use the full charge effect, because it is good for guard breaks. Like it will break guards, which I use a couple times. And luckily, with how much damage you do in the game, you barely gotta worry about anything. So you can just, this is definitely one of those fights, because the boss fights health bars are not that big in this game. It's like, boom, I do like 2 heat actions, and like he's close to dead. And then we just wait for the QTE, try to charge something like heat, and the fight is over. I guess the only thing I don't like about these Philly heat moments is that, you know, you kind of have to slowly build the heat bar. Which, I don't know. Yakuza 5 definitely did that better, where they do, you know, like the big slow-mo into the big, cinematic finisher. Anyway, here's Minami. This fight is, I don't know, kind of weird. Now, if you hit him with his running attack, oh yeah, here's another cool tech. If you do the charge finisher with the second hit, you recover pretty quickly, so you can do this heat action, which lets me get a lot of damage. Just look at the damage. Pretty cool. Anyway, once you do enough damage, like, he'll take a drink, which gives you enough time to get the big ass charge move, and if you land it, you get a bunch of heat back, which is very useful in this fight. But overall, like, I don't know, this fight isn't too great for Sajima. Like, I think it makes sense, you know, considering that Sajima and Majima, they're like, you know, they're all brothers or whatever, which is cool. And it's like, oh, before you gotta meet the boss man, you gotta fight, you know, his top dog, which is this guy. I don't know, this fight isn't too fun. But the most annoying part is that it's attached to like a fairly long group fight. So like every time you want to retry it, you gotta beat up like 20 guys. And whenever the grabbing enemies spawn, that shit gets really fucking annoying. Anyway, here, like there aren't too many. Like he doesn't do the running attack anymore, so I can only just kind of clip him with the charge attack. You know, trying to figure out how to end this fight, and the tackle clips him. Not only he dodged, but I guess he was still in end line. Anyway, here's the Majima fight. Now the one thing I do like about this Majima fight is the music. This is like my all-time favorite version of Receive You. Just like the alarms, and I don't think there's any Receive You thing that like emphasizes how much panic you feel. Like you are on edge the moment you start hearing the song, and the song starts blazing. But to talk about the actual fight, unfortunately, because I am playing on the remaster, this fight is kind of fucked. Because Majima, like, I think, you know, one of his iconic moves, like, he spins around in his dagger, you know, it spins around, which is cool. But in the remaster, because of the boosted frame rate, it's like twice as fast, and it's completely unavoidable. So Majima is basically a ticking time bomb. So you just have to kill him as fast as possible. Now the best way to do this is to get a knockdown, so you really want to pay attention to your heat, and you need to manage your heat properly. Because the best way to get him on the ground is to do the running tackle, where you can do the grab like that way. And then he'll do his wake up attack, you do, boom, you do the charge finisher, and then you just kind of do that over and over again. And then you just kind of slowly whittle at him. Because Majima doesn't have many openings for Saejima to really attack. Like, you can get in like a couple light attacks, but you can't even get like a heavy. So, you know, if you run out of heat, you're kind of fucked. But luckily, Yakuza force damage is so fucking high. We can work around it. So that's Majima. I think that's the last one. Anyway, here's Tanimura. Tanimura is the only character that's exclusive to Yakuza 4. Now, I think Tanimura has a lot of innovative ideas. Like, you know, like the parry has been like redone like 1,000 times. Like, it came back in the Dragon Engine, and then it came back with the not Tanimura, Yagami Snake parry, which is really useful. And then he has the heat action like combo finishers, which are really useful, especially useful in this game because he'd actually do 1,000,000 damage, and there's like extensions, so you can do even more. But I don't know, Tanimura, at least for me, feels kind of awkward. Like, I think the main thing that I would like playing Tanimura a lot more is if he had a quick step cancel. Because whenever Tanimura does anything, you just kind of have to commit. Like, you know, with like say like Kiryu or Akiyama, you know, you do like a light attack. Like, even if you could just cancel his light attacks, not his heavies, it would be extremely useful, but you don't get that. Anyway, one of the main things about Tanimura's fights is that there are a lot of group fights. And I think like the main reason for that is because the parry just kind of invalidates any one-on-one fight. Because I think the only fight that like invalidates the parry is like spoil it for now. But one is like his only like real boss fight when he goes into heat mode, the parry doesn't work. Anyway, this fight is kind of annoying. Like, there's like the main two problems, like the random 4 goons, they barely even do anything. The real problem are the gun guy and the guy with the sword. The guy with the sword is fucking dangerous. Because he has this one move where he will just leap from full fucking, like that fucking move will clip you a lot. And so just like, look at that. If you are not actively paying attention to him all the time, you will probably get clipped, and it's really fucking annoying. He's very unpredictable. And I don't know if it's a reused moveset from Kenzin, it might be, but I don't think I've ever seen this sword moveset ever reused. Which is kind of surprising, because RGG reuses like 1,000,000 fucking movesets and assets. Like fucking Kiwami 2, they put like 2 Yakuza 0 boss fights in like a tiny ass fucking room. That's how much they don't care which movesets they use. But they never reuse this one. They use a lot of Ishin movesets, I know that, but I don't know, weird. Anyway, so my main focus is trying to get rid of the sword guy, because this guy is hard to predict, and he will do some crazy shit. So like the main thing, like especially with like more one-on-one fights, is that you want to get him to the wall, which lets you get a wall splat, and you can kind of abuse them on wake up. And that's kind of what every one-on-one fight turns into playing as Tanimura, because once you don't have to worry about a crowd, there's not much a boss can really do. And plus, like, you know, once you get upgraded and you can like make the parry last longer, like I think it lasts up to like 3 seconds. And it's like, boom, you're already dead. Anyway, so now I gotta kill off all these stragglers. Now, at least Tanimura does have good like crowd control. I think definitely his best move is light heavy. It's extremely useful. It does good damage. It like spins him around. It comes out really quickly. You can get like a bunch of like back turn. Oh, anyway, here's another really kind of annoying fight. Instead of being able to use your moveset, you just have to use this fucking briefcase. Yay! Now, the only good thing about this suitcase is that you can block like all the weapon attacks. So like, even though you guys have like swords and knives, as long as like you're being patient, you can block. And like, there's the boxer guy, which most of the time you can block, but there is like one move he has, which will break your guard. So you kind of have to gamble a little bit, but it's not that bad. Also, even when you hit him, you don't recover fast enough just to do light attacks. You just gotta block. But at least, you know, you can build some heat by blocking. Now here I'm low health. Not because like this fight was so annoying I had to go into low health, but because there's like a long ass group fight before this, and like I didn't bother healing. So did I need the low health heat? Not really, but you know, this fight, it's not like this fight is fun, so might as well just get it over with. Like, this fight isn't that bad, but you know, it's a test of patience. Anyway, here's another fight after you get the suitcase. Now the biggest problem here is that there's one fat guy and there's one big guy. Now what's the difference? You grab the big guy, you have to mash for your fucking life to get the grab if you get it, and the fat guy will just break out of it. Can't grab it out. Oh yeah, if you fuck up the grab on the big guy, he'll just crush you. And I find it's not worth it. So instead, I'm trying to target the smaller guy with the sword. He's like a normal enemy. So he's like, he'll basically eat everything. Like, ooh, look at that dodge. And use this heat action to like slowly riddle away at the other guy's health. And one other thing about these enemies is because like they're slightly stronger, they have like more resistance. So you know, like the light heavy, which normally is extremely useful because like it turns them around. You can do like back combos and stuff. Like kind of that doesn't work. You just kind of stun them for a little bit. Now you can kind of link it, but I don't know. I find it kind of weird to do. I don't know. This fight was, I don't know, it was kind of annoying, but it's doable. You just have to be patient. And here's a good example of like what 21 fights turn into 20, where you just kind of parry them into the wall, do a heat action, and then you just kind of repeat that. You know, unfortunately, you can't do anything cool because he has so much resistance. So you just gotta play lame. And like, I don't want to play lame. You know, I do want to do some fun stuff, but some fights in this game, you don't have much options. I also, Tanimura's quick step attack, like I think it's basically the same as Kiryu's, but for some reason they just have worse hitboxes. Like trying to combo into his side quick step attack is a lot more inconsistent than doing it with Kiryu. I don't know why they didn't just copy paste the hitboxes, because like I'm pretty sure Akiyama's like copy and paste for his front quick step attack at least. So why does Tanimura just have a worse version? It's not that bad, but like if you try to use the front version, it will never hit in a combo. It just doesn't work. Anyway, here's a fight you do have to do. Most people, they put Nair, but you don't have to fight Nair. Nair is completely optional. It's unfortunate because, you know, she's kind of cool because she's basically like a copy of you, and she's like, she is your trainer, but she's not required. So you don't have to do this. But this fight you do have to do because I think fucking Zhao, whatever his name was, starts talking to some human traffickers for some, I think, Filipino girl. So you gotta fight these. Now these are pretty whatever fight. I think this is my first try. That's not that hard. But it's just what I didn't get to include in there because she is not mandatory. I'm only putting the shit you actually have to do. Oh yeah, there's like that one finisher that's really fucking slow. The only utility that has is that if you do hit a fat guy or like any, it does go through like every resistance, but it's so fucking slow. It's really risky. Anyway, here's Suguichi, who's the only good fight Tanimura has. And I think I don't know, Suguichi's character is kind of cool. I think it's supposed to be a parallel to Arai. You know, Arai is a cop pretending to be Yakuza, while Suguichi is a Yakuza pretending to be a cop. I think it would work better if Arai was a better character instead of just kind of there. But oh well. This fight is still kind of cool. Oh yeah, there's also gonna be if you're gonna pay attention, the health bars when we clip to the fight will not be equally aligned. The reason is that is because I clipped in all the cinematic intros to make it cooler to watch. Because unfortunately I did not do this on my first try. I hate to say it, but you know, I am only human. Anyway, this fight, you know, just like every other fight, you go to the wall, you do the parry, you do heat action. Now one thing you can do is that if you time your light heavy, like the heavy part on their wake up as they hit up, he will get hit by it, and you can combo Suguichi, which lets you do some cool stuff. I think I tried here. I fucked it up. I think I should be able to get it on this attempt. Yeah, like that. And like you can do back combos, you can like grab them in the back. And normally if you grab them by the back, bosses tend to be a little bit more forgiving. They don't break out like if you grab them from the front. Although I don't think, especially when Suguichi's in heat, you don't want to grab them from the front. Oh yeah, there's this heat mode, but if you just do enough damage, you just knock them out of it. So it doesn't matter. And I think it was like one heat action that's really cool that Tanimura has that's pretty useful. Is if you grab someone from the back, you can do a heat action that like stuns them. And I wish there were more heat action that had like actual utility aside from just doing damage. Is like the only, like right here, boom, now they're stunned. I wish there were more heat action like that, because I think the only kind of heat action I can kind of think is similar is I think one of Shinada's heat actions, because if you like stop midway near a wall, it'll give you like a consistent wall splat, which is pretty nice. But I wish there were more like that, which is doing raw damage, especially in a game like this, you know, where damage is so fucking high. Anyway, here's Kiryu, and we fight Saito again, and fighting Saito is a lot easier. Now, I do mainly copy the same strat I had in against Majima, but Kiryu has better combos, and he has the parry. So you know, even when he does a running attack, Kiryu can like just also parry that, like bam. Majima wishes he could do that. Oh yeah, also one thing that is kind of a nerf is that Kiryu is definitely weaker in this game combo wise. So you can do like the big heavy combos mainly because you can't reapply the gut stun from some of his finishers, which definitely makes his combos more limited, which might throw off some people, but I don't know. Heat actions are so powerful in this game that you don't even have to do big elaborate combos. Plus heat gain is also like really good in this game. Also, here's some weird collision. Ooh. Very funny. Anyway, I tried to do the sumo heat action. I fucked it up. Luckily I didn't get clipped. He does the running move and it's over. Anyway, here, unfortunately, Kiryu doesn't have that many fights, and he doesn't have do that much in the story. Like, they bring back the plotline from Yakuza 1, which is like, okay, I guess. Anyway, to showcase how powerful Kiryu is, here's Kiryu fighting the two characters you were just playing. And he's just gonna beat them both at once. I think this fight can be cool. I think if there's anything I was very surprised is that Akiyama is surprisingly kind of a pussy. He does not attack you, but Tanimura is very aggressive. And their health bars are not that big. Like, this is like the basic ground heat action. Look at that. Look how much damage I'm doing for one heat action. For a basic knockdown. This shit is insane. Now, like, the main thing I do want to get rid of Akiyama first, because you can't, because all he does is kick, so you can't really parry of his attacks. And like, you could Tiger Drop, but this version of Kiryu doesn't have either of a Tiger Drop. Oh, also, one funny thing is that if you're able to kill either one before this QT happens, there will just be nothing. Kiryu will just be wrestling against literally no one, and it's really funny. I didn't get it this attempt, but I think I did get it on my first attempt. It was really funny. Like, you would think it was like, okay, well, they're dead, so just don't do the QTE. Nope, they still do it. I got really lucky that Tanimura didn't get aggro on me. And here I'm trying not to overextend. I think you can hit Tanimura, like even when he's in heat mode, although he definitely will parry you, like bam. So now I'm just trying to take out Akiyama, and he's dead. Now here are the final boss fights. You know, we're almost near the end. Now here's Arai. And this is the second to last time we're gonna see Akiyama. And I think story-wise, Arai could have been cool, but he gets like 0 screen time. He's like at the beginning, then he just kind of shows up at the end. And the only connection he has to Akiyama is I think Arai saved them from homeless hunters. Which is like, I mean, I guess. At least the fight is fun though. There's a lot of pseudo corners which let you do a bunch of big combos. And like the main strat is you hit him with the gut stun, and then you just go crazy with the combo. At this corner especially is definitely the best place to do it. And even when he goes into heat mode, he's still vulnerable to gut stun. So just keep your combos going. Bam, bam. And I'm not sure why it's dropping there. And I got really lucky I did not get clipped. But I think one fun thing to do with Akiyama is to do like these long like wall carry combos where you're just carrying the enemy from like across the screen. It's like bam bam, quick set cancel, bam bam, quick set cancel, bam bam bam. There's some cool stuff you can do, like if you do like his heavy kicks, like you can pick up with his running attack, do the ground bounce and you can pick up from there. But you can't do that in heat, because if you do that, you just do the ground heat action. So you do have to pay attention to your heat. So your combos, they can change. The thing, unfortunately, this game wasn't until Yakuza 5 where you can like hold the camera reset button to disable heat actions, which sometimes is really annoying when you want to save your heat. But oh well, we're not there yet. Now, if I were to do Yakuza 5. Now, I don't think Yakuza 5 is too hard. I think the hardest fight would probably be the 100-man fight. I don't know if I want to go through that, but I think Yakuza 5 is mostly doable. I definitely don't want to rely on 0 cycles like some people do, which just makes everything boring to watch. But, I don't know. The main reason I don't want to do Yakuza 5 is because the game is just fucking huge. That's gonna be a lot of time. Right now I'm working on like 0 and Kiwami. Kiwami definitely has the most progress right now. Unfortunately I gotta do the fuck ass Majima everywhere system, which is really annoying. Yeah, we're gonna end this fight with the most Akiyama way possible. Just kick him with the fucking balls. That heat action is very useful. Anyway, here's Daigo. Now the reason Daigo was here is because he sold out Majima to get a bunch of money, which is kind of an asshole move to do, especially since he's been like protecting Daigo for so fucking long at this point. But you know, I'm not the fucking main chairman making all the decisions, and it's not like Kiryu has been there, so you know. But unfortunately for this fight is that Daigo is kind of an asshole. He does not give too many opening. Now that running attack, and he has like one big jumping attack. Those are like your best openings to parry. And you could parry his just like a jab string. You could parry that because the second hit will always be a punch. But you don't want to gamble it. Oh yeah, you want to see how much he'd actually do. Boom! Look at that. Look how much damage that did. Like Yakuza 3, that shit barely did anything. Like the best damage you get from heat action in Yakuza 3 is like the multi-heat action, like the multi-hit. That's only coming from multiple hits. But in this game, you just fucking nuke him. Which I don't mind, because Daigo's, I don't know, he doesn't give you that many opportunities. His heat gives him a bunch of knockdown resistance. Oh yeah, this phase. Once he gets in his final heat, he has like pure resistance. You can't even knock him down without like a bounding throw. Here I'm just kind of running away very passively. Hit him with the sumo. So you do kind of have to play it cheap, but luckily, you know, he actually do so much damage, we don't care. Kind of a shame Kiryu doesn't have that many boss fights, because he's still pretty fun. Now granted, you know, if you like Yakuza 3 more, it's definitely a downgrade. I'm not gonna say it isn't, but you know, I think for like a normal fight, for like a normal player, this is still a fun version of Kiryu. Like he has the parry, he has the tiger drop, his heat game is a lot better. Like he has more heat actions. I don't know, he's still fun, in my opinion. Anyway, here's Kido-chan. Now this is like the one fight that you can do like a charge storage combos, but I'm not good at those, so we're not doing that. But I think he also has a very funny strategy, but it's basically the same thing as Saito, but slightly cooler. I don't know. He is a pretty whatever character. I think he fits Majima. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's the old guy putting the youngins back on the right path or whatever. Oh yeah, also here's the best quote in the whole game. Just wait for it. Bozo! Kido-chan! So fucking stupid. Anyway, this fight is pretty simple. It's basically just like Saito again. You just bait out the running tag, and like when he's not in heat, you can get a back combo. Right here, I try to do some of the flashy finishers. I do get some of them. Didn't get it that time. But the main thing is that the hitbox on his running attack is really fucking shit. Anyway, like that, boom. That does give you a lot of damage. You get the gut stun, you do the charge heavy finisher, you get a lot of damage, builds a lot of heat. Anyway, the main strat, like once he goes into heat, is so you bait out the running attack, and the hitbox is so shit that you practically don't have to worry about it actually hitting you. Like, I think the only reason, like, Kido, like, ever actually hits me in these no damage rounds is when he does, like, his tackle, because it's pretty fast and it'll hit you. But his running move, like, think of that. Complete dog shit. So, mainly you just bait it out, do the charge finisher, and then you just kind of repeat that. Because unfortunately, because he's in heat, he can't do any combos on the back. Like, you can, like, tap him, but like if you do like combo finishers, they just don't connect. Kind of unfortunate. And the only way to get him out of heat is if he does like this long ass like combo, like taking a 10-hit combo kind of move. And most of the time he has to hit you, and for no damage you can't get hit. So you know, you just kind of have to do this. Now luckily it doesn't take that long. Also, here's a cool thing. You know, he starts charging his aura, like I start aura farming mine. I think it's a neat gimmick. I try to do the charge finishers, but unfortunately I don't get them. I only get one, but at least I got the one that mattered. So, not too big. I think like the main reason why I'm not really finishing them is like even though it would do more damage, if I fuck it up, I would probably have a better chance of escaping and not getting clipped by some random move. But oh well. Also, one weird thing is I think Kido's hitboxes are just kind of weird in general. Like even with like his 10-hit combo, like whenever like I try to reset, like whenever I fucked up, like even when I just stand there and just let him wail on me, like even though I'm not even doing anything, and I'm just standing there letting him hit me, it will still whiff. I think Kido's hitboxes were a little bit rushed. Because they are oddly inconsistent for some fucking reason, and I don't know why. Kind of weird, but at least they're useful inconsistencies. At least they're useful. Anyway, here's the worst fight in the whole fucking game. Fucking Munakata. I fucking hate this fight so much. And there's gonna be so many people that's like, oh, it's fucking Tanimura, you know, he's not just fighting Munakata, he's fighting the police force, he's fighting corruption, you know, what, like right before he goes in the fight, you know, he's going above the law, because he's above the law. And it's like, okay, yeah, cool, but this fight still fucking sucks. And I have to do the lamest fucking strat just to make this shit work. I mean, I think luckily on my second batch of attempts, I was able to get it fairly quickly. But on my first batch of attempts, I was trying this shit for like 6 hours straight. And like, I got a couple good ones, and then some random bullshit happened and I get clipped. Shit was so annoying. And you were very limited in this fight. Anyway, here's the main thing that I end up doing is I get drunk and then I put my health all the way down. The main reason I get drunk is so my heat builds up faster, and with the low health my heat regenerates, because heat is the most important thing you have in this fight. And I also have the secret tree armor, which lets me block bullets, because keep in mind the entire time where you're fighting 15 dudes at the same time, who are all like advanced enemies, so even if you try to attack them directly, they will just fucking dodge and you'll probably whiff and get clipped. And there's fucking Munakata in the back, running around like a pussy bitch. An absolute fucking coward, just shooting you in the back. Now, this can be useful, as when he does shoot you, as long as you have, you know, the tree armor, it does regenerate heat. So the main strat is just run around, build some heat, and then land a parry, do the parry heat action, and then depending on the situation, you either do the clutch stroke heat action, or like if there's a bunch of people surrounding you, you can do the throw. Ideally, you want to do the throw, mainly because it builds a lot of heat. Like when you do the throw, plus it'll usually do enough damage to kill anyway. So you do the throw, you get a lot of heat, and then you just go back into it like immediately. But the only problem with the throw is that, like, while it is like useful, like doing the throw animation is kind of laggy. So if you are not prepared, you probably can get clipped. So like if you do the throw and you don't hit anyone, and there's like one guy approaching you and then he attacks, run over, reset. Like, oh, this fight was so fucking annoying. And like the random inconsistencies that you don't really notice, but then they show up in this fucking fight. Like, I think it happened here, where, you know, I did the parry heat action, and then I went to do the clutch heat action, but for some reason it gave me the heavy kick. I don't know why. I had heat for the heat action, but it didn't give me, I don't fucking know why. There was one attempt where, like, there's literally, like, 2 bodyguards left, and, like, it's like, okay, let me do the heat action, because that's, like, the safest one to do, and I get clipped. Okay, anyway, this fucking QT is really fucking annoying, because it ends up doing fuck all. Because keep in mind, like, you do minimal damage, it doesn't give you any heat, and, like, even, like, say if you, like, were able to whittle, like, a bunch of the crowd's healths for somehow, like, even if they have a pixel of health, they won't die. Why don't they die? So you know what it is? It is a big waste of fucking time. This whole fucking fight is like a big waste of time, because you have to be so fucking patient. It's like building heat, then waiting for the parry, and then, like, for whatever fucking reason, like, they get, like, really passive. Like, you know, they start, you know, sometimes they'll, like, run at you from full fucking screen. Hell, I've been clipped at the beginning, so I don't even get, like, a good attempt to even fucking do the fight. And then other times, like, they just fucking look at you like they're dumb. Like, fuck you looking at me so crazy for? What are you looking at me for? What the fuck? I hate this fight. This fight caused me so much agony. And one thing that did not help was I only figured out, I think, until I started doing the Amons, how to get your premium save file into Premium Adventure, like your New Game Plus, which would have been really useful, because having to do this fight by using shrimp instead of the clams. The clams take out a lot of your health. The shrimp do not. But the problem with the clams is that they only come out in Premium Adventure. So you have to take a save file from Premium Adventure into New Game Plus. But I didn't know how to do that, so I ended up having to use shrimp, which for most of the fights wasn't too bad. But for this fight, you know, when I'm trying 1,000 fucking times, yeah, it was kind of annoying. But you know, that part's over, so we don't gotta worry about that. Yeah, it's just this fight is fucking miserable. And I think, like, the only reason I was able to do this fight is because I got, like, kind of lucky. Also, one annoying part is that, keep in mind, like, the whole strategy I'm doing is relying on this heat action, the parry heat action. Like, this is, like, the main strat. This is how I'm doing damage. This is how I'm taking out enemies. This is how I'm doing it somewhat safely, somewhat consistently. For some reason, like, the big fucking bodyguard guy, like the one in the middle right there, for some reason, he's just immune to the heat action. For some fucking reason. I don't know why. I think it's because he's too big or some bullshit. So keep in mind, like, every other enemy, you know, you just kind of do the same shit over and over again. That guy, you can't. Because the game fucking said so. Because fuck you. Anyway, here's the lucky part I was talking about. So normally, whenever there's 2 guys left, they'll charge at you. But I guess because I was able to kill one of the elite body captains early, that part hasn't been activated yet. So they're just kind of standing around. And, like, as long as you don't target Munakata, they won't hurt you. Like, they won't attack. They'll just stand there as, like, you know, living meat shields. Which is pretty useful here, because it lets me slowly whittle away at their health, especially the big fucker. Because that big fucker is easily the biggest problem. And luckily, because they won't attack, I can do the light heavy finisher on the big guy. And even though he will normally dodge, like, the first hit, the second hit has such a wide hitbox, it can hit him even after he dodges. So my main strat is just trying to whittle away at him and try to hit him. And I don't have to worry about heat, because since I have the tree armor, Munakata's, like, blows won't do anything to me, and they just give me heat. And I tried doing that, and then I realized it's like, oh wait, his health is getting kind of low. So I started targeting the second guy, because the main thing about the second guy is that you can actually grab the you can grab, like, all the enemies here, and I'm not entirely sure how much you can grab the big guy, But the weaker enemies, you can definitely grab them. So after like, you know, whiffing and failing all the time, I eventually figure out it's like, oh wait, let me grab the other guy. And then, because Tanimura's throw heat action hits like multiple people. So I do main damage to this guy and then slowly chip away at the big guy. You know, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And then Munakata gives me heat. And just repeat. This part I really, if this didn't happen, like if they just activate, if they just like were working normally, this strat would not work. What I was doing would not work because it would just hit me. And here, the fight is basically over. We do this heat action, we throw him, and then we just fucking kill him. And guess what? Munakata is all by his fucking lonesome. He's all by himself. He is our little bitch. And he can't do anything. Because luckily, all he does is shoot his gun. So he doesn't have like, he's not like, you know, Tamashiro, where if you get close to him, like he'll like do like these annoying ass kicks or whatever the fuck. He doesn't do that. All he does is shoot you and try to run away. So now I can just bully the fuck out of him. Just do all these fucking heat actions. Just fucking get rid of him. This shit felt so fucking good once I finally got this attempt. Oh my god. I don't want to ever do this shit again. Because the main thing is I didn't want to do it with weapons, because it's what a lot of people do. But look at this, BAM! And I land the big heavy finisher. Fuck you, you old fuck. Anyway, here's a surprise. We have the Amons. Now, Kazuya Amon is definitely the hardest, because he does not have a lot of openings. So what we're going to do is that we're going to create our own opening. We're going to use the wall heat action, cash out a little bit with the extension, to get him on the ground. Because, like, while you can't attack him while he's standing around normally, when he gets up, you can hit him. And luckily we hit him with the gut stun, and then now we can do our combos. And here's the wall carry combo I was talking about. Bam, bam, bam. Boom, boom, boom. And you want to keep this combo as long as you can. And so essentially, like, the whole strat is just essentially reapplying gut stun as much as you can, and then like getting a big combo. Because like the only opportunity you can to get an opportunity, to get an opening, is like when he does like, cause he's using he's using Mina's moveset, and when he does like this punch string into like big uppercut, you can like stun him while he's doing those punches, but he's very he does not do those punches a lot of the time. So the window is very small, and it's very likely you'll get clipped. And so, like, my main strat was like, you know, combo him as much as you can, kind of loop him on the ground, and then if he does get up, as long as you get heat, you can use the wall heat action to like get him, to force him to be on the ground again, and then reset. Now, unfortunately, when he goes into heat like this, he has a lot more resistance, so that strat doesn't really work anymore. But if you're able to do enough damage in the early phases, should be fine here. But if you don't have heat, the main thing is that, you know, like the main opening I was talking about earlier, you basically just wait for him to do that move, and then you just tiger drop it. I think you can parry like the string that comes from his sweep, but you know, I'm just trying to play it safe. And the main thing is that Kazuya is very passive. So, like, I think I've literally just like sat around, done nothing, and I'm still alive for like 6 minutes. And then bam, tiger drop. Anyway, here's Jiro, who is definitely the easiest, and unfortunately all the tech we found is kind of useless, because you just can't combo him at all. So the main strat is essentially just wait for him to do an attack, grab him, do the charge grab heat action. I think the only strat you can do is like push him to the wall to get like a wall heat action, and that's kind of it. It's really boring, but at least it's really easy. Like, I think the only other thing he does when he goes into heat, he does regen health, but you know, you just do your charge attack, do heat action, and then like it'll stop the regen. Like, I don't know, like this fight took me like 3 tries. It's not hard once you know the strat. Like, I think the only time he will clip you is because there's like 2 movesets he can use. He can either use just like enemy movesets with like the big hammers, or you can use the player moveset, which are way faster. But luckily that's like, you know, you just kind of go in and out, dodge out, and that's kind of it. I think all his red heat does is like he gets like this new attack string, but like it's pretty easy to deal with. So he doesn't even regen health anymore. Very boring fight, which is unfortunate. None of the new tech helps at all. And unfortunate. Anyway, here's Sango. Now, I didn't want to be cheap with this fight. I wanted, you know, be somewhat kind of cool, but Sango forced my hand. He forced my hand to fucking boost my key game like this. Now, the first phase isn't that bad. All you gotta do is like, you know, you kind of walk him down a little bit, chase him, and then when he starts getting ready to shoot his gun, you know, you attack him. And my main strat is I do the light heavy, and one thing you can do with Tanimura is if you hold the heavy button for some of his finishers, you'll build like a lot more heat, which is like my main strat, to like build a bunch of heat, do a bunch of heat actions, and it's pretty useful for this fight. It's like the only fight I actually use it. I think like one strat you can do is like when he does reload, you can like whip a bunch of finishers and then get like some combo finisher. Like I've seen people do like the big like heavy like round bounce finisher, which is kind of cool. Anyway, once he gets to his second health, he goes into his heat phase. Now this phase could be fun. It could be fun, mainly because it's like you can just kind of parry everything and then you just react to his guns. You know, which would be cool. So like you hold parry. But unfortunately, he has like a similar move to Majima's spin attack. It was like, okay, that's cool. And you know, it was like, okay, you gotta have to be close to him at all times. But sometimes like he'll just do the move with no telegraph, and the main difference between him and his Majima is that he'll just fucking shoot you. And I don't have the armor, because I didn't really feel like I need it. So just kind of have to cheap him out. Luckily I didn't get that cheap, but still. Anyway, here is Jomon. Jomon, the first phase is pretty easy. All you gotta do is just basically walk him down. And because when you get really close, he'll just do these dodge punches. He'll do a side dodge, or he'll do back dash into an uppercut. And like as long as you walk him down, you just boom. As soon as he moves, just parry. Now one thing I figured out is that if you get behind him and do the throw combo, you'll build a lot more heat and you get a good knockdown. Which helped me out a lot. Like I ended up doing a lot more experimentation when it came to Jomon. I think the only reason this works is because like I'm doing this like premium adventure. You can tell because you know, I got all the drippy outfits. But unfortunately, like for some reason it sets your game to normal mode for some reason. I don't know why it does that. It did the same thing in Yakuza 3. I don't know why it does that here. It's really annoying. Anyway, the second phase, he basically copies the other Amon's movesets. So he copies Sango, he copies Jiro, and he copies Kazuya. The main moveset you want to abuse is definitely Jiro's, because the hammer, because that's the easiest one to parry. Now, my only problem with Jiro's moveset is that sometimes you know how I talked about the enemy moveset and the player moveset? Well, I think for Saito it wasn't that bad because you just kind of bait him out and dodge, so you didn't have to be that close. But with Joamon, you have to be really close, and the player moveset is way faster, which is a lot harder to react to. So like every good attempt, like I would just get clipped by that moveset, and then you would just never do it again, which is like the most annoying part. Like it wasn't that I got hit or whatever. It was the fact that he just wouldn't do it. Like he only did it just to fuck up my run, which was so annoying. But anyway, like once you get it, the fight isn't that bad. Like Sango isn't that bad. Like, you know. Oh yeah, here's the big laser in Kazuya. No, I think Kazuya, he's really passive, so I think you want to, you can charge heat, but I don't know. And then Sango, essentially, you just kind of wait. He's basically he just copies Andre's movesets, but he doesn't fire nearly as often. Like, you can't knock him down, but it's not that bad. He's essentially just when he goes into Sango, and bam. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you had a good time watching, and make sure to stay tuned.